Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike and Anton here. We're talking about real estate today. So if you're looking to get your first deal or grow your portfolio and you have questions, we've got answers. We're going to talk about everything from Airbnb to what markets to invest in and how to get that first deal.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, so as a lot of you guys know, I've been in real estate for about 10 years, and you've been doing real estate for about 6 years.
That's right.
Awesome, yeah.
Right.
So we've got a lot of experience under our belts. We had some really good questions come in via Instagram, so let's hit a few of those.
As a brand new investor in 2025, what does somebody need to get started today in this real estate market?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say you need a little bit of capital to work with, or you need to find a capital partner to be able to actually purchase something, right? So you can bring the hustle and find a friend or a relative or someone that trusts you to bring the capital to that deal, right? Everyone's going to have a roadblock, but you can easily get past that roadblock with some effort. But I would say start small. I mean, You don't need to hit a home run in your first deal.
Okay.
And then decide on something that really works for you or you like. If you want to do sober living, you can. If you want to do Airbnb, you can. Make sure you're passionate about those things and just start small. Yeah. Buy that first deal, get one deal under your belt. Even if you're not making a ton of money, you'll get a lot of experience from that. Make sure you have a plan B so you don't lose money, or you can have a different option to rent it out. If it's sober living, you can rent it out as a long-term rental as plan B. If it's a short-term rental, you can rent it out as a long-term rental or a medium-term rental as plan B. But make sure you have some sort of backup plan and you're doing your homework.
Yeah, and I think in 2025, I think you have to get a little bit more creative. You can't just buy a house and turn around and rent it out and make passive income off of that anymore. I think you have to get more creative, which is basically what you're saying.
Definitely a harder market to get it started in. Interest rates are pretty high, but there definitely are deals out there. I've seen the Denver market get a little bit softer as of recent, and that's definitely happening in other big cities out there. So definitely take advantage of this time, and don't focus on the negatives. Focus on the ways you can be successful.
Yeah, and so as you were talking about the Denver market, this is a really good question right here that ties into that. Where do you invest in short-term rentals? Like what cities, and how do you find the properties to invest in?
Yeah, so I invested in Denver simply because I live here and I know the market.
Okay.
I know the neighborhoods. I have conviction in the city, the growth. All the data made sense, but I basically know Denver like the back of my hand, and I have confidence investing here. If you know the area, and you know the neighborhoods, and you have confidence in the city, it's much easier to go out there and find good deals.
Yeah, I think Denver can be really tough for long-term rentals just because of the vast gap between purchase price and the market rent. But there are definitely other markets, predominantly in the South, that you can still get a good price, do a little bit of value add, and cash flow off of a duplex or a triplex.
Yeah, if you're willing to get your hands dirty and put a little sweat equity into the deal, you can definitely still make things work. And just have a good mentor. If you're not sure, or you're stumbling, or you don't have the confidence yet, reach out to someone like myself or Anton and ask for help. There's no dumb questions when you're getting started.
I think to answer that question directly, I think what cities for long-term rentals. So I would say probably Huntsville, Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. Atlanta still has some deals. Texas, the prices have really come down quite a bit in Texas. And so if you are in those areas, or you know somebody in those areas, or you can make it work, you can make the management process of your rental remote, then those are some areas I'd be looking into right now.
Yeah, but pick an area and become an expert on that area. Don't try to invest in 3 different markets and do it remotely, sight unseen offers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just have one area of focus and become an expert.
Yeah, you got to go down there and actually put boots on the ground and look at some of these properties. Yeah, you don't want to be making offers sight unseen, especially in this market where there's no need to, right? Because things are sitting on the market longer, and you actually have time to shop around and really negotiate as well.
Yeah. You can watch those properties that have been on the market for 60 plus days.
Yeah.
Those sellers are going to be willing to negotiate, give you credits, or you can offer, I don't want to say a lowball offer, but don't be afraid to write offers.
Right. So here's an interesting one. Will you coach me to buy real estate?
Yes, Anton, I will coach you to buy real estate. I like helping people that want to make moves, that are ready to go. And so if you're someone out there that you have some cash, or you have some some skill or will to do it, I'm happy to coach people. I do it very selectively. I don't want to have a ton of coaching clients, but I'm happy to partner with someone or coach them to see if they just to help them make that first move.
Yeah, so you're not putting out like a $50 course that you're going to sell to everybody how to become a real estate investor.
No courses, no gurus.
That's awesome.
Just a genuine interest to help people get started that actually want to make
one-on-one
moves. Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. When I first started off, I asked everyone for help, and that was invaluable for me. So thank you for everyone out there that was able to. That helped me out, that gave me advice, that gave up their time to help me. Yeah, I'm forever grateful for that.
Pay that forward, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you weren't doing hospitality, what other asset classes would you be doing?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Airbnb is definitely considered. It's definitely a hospitality business. Customer service is top of mind. We're really pushing for a high-end experience when it comes to my properties. If anyone out there saw the pool house party that was pre-reunion, any of those photos, you can definitely tell that Airbnb was well designed. It's designed for an experience, and it's designed for everyone to have a great time.
Yeah, man, that was a six spot you got there, dude. That was really cool. That was a cool spot.
I'm glad we got the cast together, and I'm glad that everyone had a great time that day.
Yeah, I like what you did with that one.
But if I wasn't doing hospitality, I wasn't doing Airbnb, again, I would focus on something that's important to you. If you don't want to have tenants, you can invest in self-storage. You can invest in garage condos, which one of my good friends does. You can invest in sober living. You can invest in mobile home parks, apartment buildings. Just pick something that's of interest to you, and that makes sense for you, and that you're actually something that you have interest in and that you're motivated to explore.
Yeah, that's good. So here's another good question. Do you refinance your houses or use your money out of pocket as a deposit for the next one?
Okay. Yeah, I think that one depends, but I do both. And so if I do have a property that has equity and I'm doing a big rehab and I need a bunch of cash for that, I will pull that equity and utilize that equity either for the down payment or for the remodel. But if I'm buying a turnkey property that's already been remodeled and maybe it needs some light touches here and there, maybe just in the interior design side of things, but it doesn't need anything major, I'll buy that with my own cash out of pocket, and I'll try to put as little down as possible. I'll put anywhere between 5-10% down.
Okay.
I've only put 20% down one time because I was forced to, and I think the other time before that I just didn't know any better. So anyone that's listening, you don't need to put 20% down to buy a property.
Right.
What I like to do is put 5 to 10% down, save some of my cash for the rehab or that next purchase. Be planning your chess moves. Yeah. I want to buy this property today, but I don't want to be in the penalty box and be out of cash a year from now or 6 months from now when I buy the next one. So save a little bit of that gunpowder and be able to leverage it or utilize it on that next purchase if you're looking to buy maybe 2 in the next 1 to 2 years.
There's another question that came in from one of your fans is, I have $400K worth of equity in my house and another $150,000 to invest. Where do I start?
Yeah, so that person, I would say they're pretty well positioned to get started. They actually already own a property, even though it wasn't an investment, it's their primary residence for them, I would assume. They have a bunch of equity. And so you can actually get a HELOC to leverage that equity and then use that money to go purchase the next property or do remodel on the next property.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really common scenario that a lot of people are in, especially people that bought pre-COVID, is they are locked into a really good, attractive rate, and so they have a ton of equity sitting there, but they do not want to refinance out for a cash out because they're going to lose that low rate, right? Yeah. So that's a very common, I think.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. Don't refinance your property. Keep that low rate. Just refinance. Just pull the equity out with the HELOC instead. Yeah. And then you have your original loan with a low rate and a HELOC with a little bit higher rate, and you can go ahead and buy that next property.
Right.
To answer the second half of that question, what should they do next? Again, comes back to their scenario, what they're interested in, what's going on in their market. Are short-term rentals going to be a good option in their market, or do they have to go medium term or do sober living, something to that nature? But I would say try to invest in the market you live in or a market where you have contacts and potentially a team or boots on the ground.
Yeah, I think that choosing your market and trying to look out and predict the next 10 to 20 years. Obviously, nobody has a crystal ball, but looking at markets that are emerging and, markets that have the most potential for growth, that's always a good idea. Is you want to be thinking in that way. You want to be thinking as, which markets are going to grow over the next 10, 20 years. So you look at job growth in those markets. You look at, is it a net positive population moving in? Are there people moving out of that area? Is there, any big employers coming to the area? Those kinds of things. I think those are, and it's very time consuming, but it's work that it's your due diligence that you have to do. And if you really want to be serious about investing in real estate, you have to be looking at those kinds of things.
Yeah, all great data points to consider for sure. And if you're not sure, just ask ChatGPT. I mean, you have all the resources at your fingertips. Do your research, look at some high-level metrics, some of the metrics that you mentioned. And all while doing that, just don't get analysis paralysis, because I see a lot of people that are just doing so much analysis and they're unsure and they don't actually make a move.
Yeah.
Make sure you're doing your homework, but also make sure that you're taking shots at or coming up to bat and taking.
Yeah, I think it's you have to, like any business plan, you have to treat it as a business plan. You have to write out what your plan is, and then find properties that are can fit into your business plan, right? Like whether it's if you plan on doing long-term rentals, if you want to buy an apartment building or a smaller multifamily unit or whatever the case is, right? You want to narrow that down and have different exit strategies out of that.
Yeah.
And then start kind of hunting and narrowing down whatever markets you want to be in and things of that nature.
Yeah. Get up to bat, hit a base hit or a home run, but just do something and take some action.
Yeah. Yeah.